We may be simps. All of us, yeah. The whole Genshin Impact community. But we still have feelings, you know? And you're probably like, what am I getting at? It's Xiao. What is up, all my Xiao simps out there? Welcome back to another Whisk Chan Banging video. And as you guys have heard in the beginning, yes, this is a bit of a little bit, it's a little bit tragic. It's sad, tragic, and honestly just something I would have never expected with a character. And most people that play this game, you probably play the game just because, you know, the characters look cool. The characters and animations look cool. The character does a lot of damage. You like seeing numbers. You like just playing with friends, maybe. Well, this game is not all just that. This game has story. This game has a lot of story. And I mean, every character has a, you know, life, literally. You could get to know the characters better through friendship levels and whatnot. But what we're talking about today is Xiao's backstory. Something I feel everybody needs to know, even before summoning on this character, because I feel it's important. In my opinion, I feel like it's definitely important. Getting a character feels really good, but knowing the character and getting the character feels even better, in my opinion. That's just how it works in my brain. But anyway, we're gonna go ahead and get right into this and the story about Xiao and how everything happened. So anyway, without further ado, let's get right into this video. But before we do, if you are new to this channel, make sure you smash that subscribe button down below and join the subscribers on the grind to 2,700. We are almost at 3K. Let's go ahead and hit this goal, guys. Let's keep grinding. Also, hit the notification bell to be notified of all my daily uploads and hit that like button down below. But without further ado, let's get right into this video. So guys, as you do know, Xiao is literally on the way. He's coming February the 3rd. It's already February 27th, but when this video uploads, it'll be February the 28th. I mean, not February. I said February. It's January the 27th, but it will be January the 28th when this video uploads. So basically, guys, there is a lot to know about this character. If you did not know, this character actually has a really, really good lore, but also a really, really tragic and sad lore. Probably the saddest in this whole game. So anyway, what I want to do first is watch the footage of the new story for Xiao on YouTube that miHoYo actually officially posted, and then go over Xiao's story, and then go over a little bit more of his story and tell you who you're actually getting, who you're summoning for, why this character is actually so good, where did he originate, how did he get his power, or whatever you want to know about the character in general, which some stuff still needs to be unlocked from, you know, the friendship levels and whatnot, and from poems and stuff that you can read from talking to certain NPCs in the game. But yeah, without further ado, let's go ahead and get right into it and watch this video first.
In ancient times, Liyue was a land of misery, where the shadow of evil loomed large.
Rex Lapis, y'all, that's on Lee.
Their vengeful wrath cursed the world, manifesting in infernal forms. When demons stirred, miasmas, monsters and mutations.
Yep, hypostasis and those little plant things.
Rex Lapis summoned the Yakshas.
Zhongli in his prime!
The demons.
He looks so good. I wish that outfit was available.
Restore order through slaughter.
5 Yakshas, by the way, guys. There were 5 of them.
To this, we dedicate our lives. Eons of bloodshed later, karmic debt weighed upon them. Phantom wrath seeping into
They started falling apart.
They went mad with fear, turned on each other, or succumbed to the darkness. Of the 5 foremost Yakshas, death came to 3, while the 4th vanished without a trace. In the millennia since, one conqueror of demons remains the sole surviving Yaksha in the mortal realm.
I got something to tell you guys.
On moonlit nights, in the glow from Guyon, and in the sound of the Dihua flute, is his memory preserved.
I got something to tell you guys, right? So I'm pretty sure you all heard there originally was 5 Yakshas. 3 of them died. Probably some killed themselves. Some of them fought to the death, right? And then one of them disappeared. And one of them is Xiao, which is who we have now. So basically 3 died. We don't know who actually died because when this did this right here, it showed all of them, you know, basically getting canceled out because one of them ran away, so it's considered probably dead. You don't know what happened to that Yaksha. But what we do know is that Xiao is basically the last remaining one, but there is still one in the world. Now, that brings me to speculate which one is the last one. I know that this guy probably is not the last one, considering that, let's go back a little bit, right? This guy turned evil.
or succumb.
He could have turned evil and then ran away. Why does he look like Sukuna a little bit? Anyway, he could have turned evil and, like, you know, ran away and just does a lot of evil. I know that these two fought to the death. This is the blue Yaksha and the golden one. So these two are dead basically. And she went mad and she killed herself, I think. So let's go back to this. Basically, what this leads me to believe is that she's gone, he's gone, he's gone. No. All three of these are gone right here. Red, yellow, and blue. I think the purple's still alive. The Sukuna-like figure, as well as Xiao. In my opinion. Xiao, of course. But the other one that ran away, I'm pretty sure it's the purple one. I think. That's just my speculation from seeing the clip and seeing that he's the only one that turned evil and actually succumbed to it. It looked like he wasn't fighting any other Yakshas or whatnot, but the blue and yellow were fighting. The red went crazy, probably committed suicide, and you know, there's Xiao, just he's actually still intact basically. So I feel like definitely this one is the only one along with Xiao. So there's only two Yakshas really alive. But Xiao's the only one probably that has actually control over himself. So yeah, that's just one thing I wanted to note. When are we going to see that Yaksha? Like, actually, I want to know when we're going to see that Yaksha. That's going to be interesting. I wonder if he's going to show up in the story, or if it's not him, is it, you know, yellow or blue? Or if it's not yellow or blue, is it the red one? Did she not kill herself, or did he not kill himself? So we'll see. But that's just one thing I wanted to note, to put things in your mind. You know, have you speculate like, wow, he's not the only Yaksha, meaning there might be another character that they put on a banner, you know, when they progress in the story, that is another Yaksha, and, you know, and just make the game even better, have double Yaksha in the game. That would be insane. So anyway, that's just a speculation. But anyway, let's go ahead and get on to the story. Now, as you all have heard, these guys have literally been summoned, basically. Let's go back right here. Rex Lapis.
Vanquish the demons. They swore an oath. Restore order through slaughter.
Restore order through slaughter. They had to vanquish the demons. They had to destroy demons under Rex Lapis. Okay, so that's what the Yakshas are for, and that is why that is why Xiao is so loyal to Zhongli, or Rex Lapis, if that's what you want to say. So there's a lot about this that we're gonna actually explain in 1 second, but I just want to say this is absolutely insane. I did not know anything about the Yakshas until, you know, today, well, or yesterday really. I didn't like go into deep detail and, you know, research, because I was like, why does it matter? But then I actually read, and I was like, wow, this is amazing. It's like this game, the lore from the characters, it's so insane, especially from Xiao. I feel like he has one of the most well done, worked on lores in any game for any character. So anyway, let's go ahead and go over a lot that, you know, Xiao has in his description, and what type of character he is, where'd he come from, and all of that nature. Okay guys, we are on the lore of the Genshin website basically. So here we are, the intro. I'm gonna need my glasses because your boy is blind. Alright, so here we go, the intro. Xiao may have the appearance of a young man, but his true age is something over 2,000 years. Fortunately, people do not tend to underestimate him on the basis of his appearance. One only needs to spend a short time with Xiao to clarify that he is not someone to be trifled with. Xiao is a man of few words. He is highly dangerous, and he has the most piercing gaze you will ever see. He enjoys a formidable reputation, and high level of seniority among the Adepti, but is relatively known in the mortal realm. This is inevitable. Xiao is not one of those popular deities whom people pray for wealth and protection, nor is he a mystical sage of Zheyun Jian, whom pilgrims flock in search of divine wisdom. No, if any mortal is unfortunate enough to witness Xiao unleash his true power, it is certain to be under the most dire of circumstances, and they will be extremely lucky if they survive the ordeal. There are some things I have to say about that as well. This is not because Xiao seeks to harm people. Rather, since Xiao is accustomed to waging war against dark forces powerful enough to devour Liyue in its entirety, any bystanders who witness him in the heat of battle are likely to end up as his victim of circumstance. To be clear, this simply means that collateral damage is hard to avoid. Not that Xiao goes around silently killing his witnesses or killing witnesses. So basically, the man has to go against powerful enemies that can literally devour Liyue. And basically, similar to how in story mode, if you haven't been against that giant water thing that Child summoned, basically those are the type of things he had to go against, but sometimes they were stronger. So that means, like, you know, we got really lucky, because the reason why Liyue got lucky when that water beast was summoned by Child, the reason they defeated it is because they had worked together. But if it was just Xiao going against that beast, he would have to use his Yaksha form. And if he would have used his Yaksha form, yes, he would have defeated that beast, but at what cost? How many victims, how many witnesses will fall victim to, you know, him? Like, they're gonna literally just die because he's too strong. So anyway, let's go ahead and continue his story. Story part 1. What exactly is Xiao wrestling with? The Koi answered would be old grudges, unfulfilled dreams, and the soreness of losers. The unmitigated truth is that Xiao fights against the remnants of the defeated Archons from the Archon War, which took place prior to the rise of the Seven. Morax defeated those Archons and buried their remains beneath the rocks of the earth. However, Archons are immortal. The consciousness may diminish, but their power and hatred will always remain and spread like poison, relentlessly stirring up chaos for the world and its inhabitants. Liyue rulers who are aware of the truth regarding Xiao refer to his millennia-long experience as the bane of all evil. The war he fights can never be won, and will never come to an end. It is also an invisible war that no one will ever witness or thank him for. That is sad. His story part 2, Xiao is not this Yaksha's true name, but a name given to him in the interest of his own protection. Back in a more naive and young time, a god had gotten a hold of Xiao's weakness and forced him to serve as the Archon's puppet, pushing him to perform cruel and bloody acts. Many died at his hand, many hopes were crushed, and he was even forced to devour the victim's dreams. As much as it pained him to do this, he was helpless to resist. Finally, on the battlefield of the Archon War, Morax the Geo Archon had a fateful encounter with the Yaksha Master, aka Zhongli. He had an encounter with Xiao. The current state of the world has already revealed the results of the battle. Rex Lapis liberated the Yaksha and gave him the name Xiao. In the fables of another world, the name Xiao is the dark spirit that encountered great suffering and hardship. He endured much suffering. Use this name from now on. So guys, first thing, I want to say a couple things about this. Xiao, what was his weakness? I want to know his weakness, but in order to know that, we'd have to have the character, get a lot of friendship with him, so we could get all his story and whatnot, and actually know what his weakness was. What god got a hold of Xiao's weakness is what I want to know. And also, is that god being restrained right now, or is that god roaming free? You know what I'm saying? So anyway, he had to serve as a puppet and literally murder innocent people. He even was forced to devour their dreams. Okay, so this, you can't even imagine the pain that he actually had to endure to do this, because it's either he did that, or his weakness was either being held hostage and about to die, or have a horrible, you know, unspeakable negativity type thing happen to them. You know what I'm saying? So he had to do this for whatever was his weakness. He had to do this, and if he wouldn't have, then his weakness would have, you know, it would have been gone. So he would have been very, very sad, and even more sad than he is right now. But honestly, I need to know all this. This is absolutely insane to me. It's really sad though, for how his backstory works, and how I want to know who this god is for real, and I want to know what is currently that god's, you know, what are they looking like right now? Are they restrained? Are they, you know, unconscious so they can never do this again? Or are they out and about? Did Rex Lapis not get this god? That's what I'm saying. So anyway, let's go ahead and go over a little bit more story about Xiao. Okay, so we're gonna read a little bit. Some things I already stated in the previous thing we talked about on the Genshin website. Anyway, Xiao, being Yaksha, is suffering what we know. Anyway, let's start from the very beginning of his story. Take a look at Xiao's character stories here. You can take a look here. I'll probably link this in the description if I remember, hopefully. And also, we can see that before he meets Zhongli or Rex Lapis, he is enslaved by another Archon in the Archon War. A god had gotten a hold of Xiao's weakness and forced him to serve as the Archon's puppet, pushing him to perform cruel and bloody acts. Many died at his hands, and many hopes were crushed, and he was even forced in devouring his victims' dreams. Oof. After Rex Lapis defeats his old master, so he was restrained. Good. Xiao gets his new name and proceeds to swear allegiance to the man who saved him, aka Zhongli. You'd think his life would get better from there, but the Yaksha, the vigilant adepti, explains Rex Lapis summoned many illuminated beasts to his side, and the 5 strongest were known as the Yakshas. Yes, we just watched the video about them, so let's just summarize what they're trying to say. Xiao Alatis, that used to be his old name before he became Xiao, which is what Zhongli or Rex Lapis named him for the new fresh start that he deserved because of all the things that happened to him. Was amongst them. Their task to defend Liyue from demons that rise from the lingering resentment of Archons defeated during the Archon War. And it says, remember when I said Archons seem to not actually die permanently? However, it seems that the longer they stay dead, the more they lose of themselves. Which is an interesting note we'll return to later. Which is actually really interesting. So basically, the longer they're in that restraintment, the more they lose of themselves. But at the same time, the world is being poisoned. So while they're losing themselves, the world's being poisoned over and over, and then having all these demons and all these evil, monsters and whatnot. But anyway, as expected, when your enemy is undying, Xiao's character story says, the war he fights can never be won, and it will never come to an end, as we said. It's also an invisible war that no one will ever witness or thank him for. As if fighting a never-ending war isn't bad enough, the rest of the Yaksha, the vigilant adepti, proceeds to describe how all the Yakshas begin to die horribly from the PTSD you would generally obtain from such an ordeal. Yes, after going through all those years of just slaughtering, they kind of went crazy. Their Yaksha forms just consumed them, evil consumed them, and some of them went crazy. But luckily, Xiao didn't. Many go utterly mad, and some turn into killing their own. And the quest the Yakshas wish even implies that one of the Yakshas, Bosius. Okay, guys, so basically, Bosius is probably the Geo Yaksha 100%. As to why we could tell this is because the Electro Yaksha became evil, as we've seen, and probably killed either Morax or the Yaksha. The Pyro died instantly from insanity, as we've seen in the trailer. It was the first Yaksha that they showed. The mask literally just melted or something like that, of that sort of animation, and they just died from insanity. And then we have Hydro, which went mad and attempted to murder Bosius. And if you didn't know, guys, yes, right here, as you can see, the Hydro tried to murder Bosius. And if this is true, then Bosius, and yes, I'm calling him Bosius, it may be pronounced something else, but I like Bosius, I'm sorry. Bosius is the Geo Yaksha, and clearly, as we can see right here, the Geo Yaksha managed to end her, meaning I'm pretty sure that Bosius won against the Geo Yaksha. The Geo Yaksha, Bosius, won against the Hydro Yaksha, and so basically that makes to where the Hydro's dead. So the Hydro, the Pyro, the Electro may be dead because he went mad and he probably got ended by another Yaksha maybe. And then Xiao's okay. So Bosius is the current state of Bosius is as said over here, right here. Let's find it. Bosius took their own life. Now it would kind of make sense considering how they all have PTSD. They all went kind of crazy. So who is alive? Who would be alive out of the 4 Yakshas? The Electro, the Pyro, Hydro, or the Geo? Now the Geo is said to commit suicide. The Hydro lost against the Geo. The Pyro died from insanity, and the Electro went evil, and we have never heard of him since. So that leads me to believe that the Electro Yaksha is still alive. The 4-armed Yaksha that looks like Sukuna, actually. So that's very interesting to think about, but it's also extremely sad. And all in all, the 5th alone prevailed, and the 5th was Olatus. That's what I'm calling. That's Xiao. If you go down to talk to the poet, Qingzhou, I'm sorry if I pronounced it right, it's right here. On the bottom floor of Wangshu Inn, you can hear his poem about Xiao. Okay? From Xiao's leaked Chinese lines, just slam them through Google Translate and you'll get an idea, honestly. So basically, they slammed them through Google Translate. Anyway, we get even more sad information, including he literally hears voices. And their sounds always cry out right next to my ear, roaring, crying, and screaming and killing. This is of my own choice and my own retribution. It does not concern you. So what I feel like this comes from is once he was told to devour dreams, once he killed so many people, yes, naturally, that literally melts within him. because he has so much bloodshed, so many dreams that he's devoured. He's gonna have voices. It's haunting him, basically. This is probably why all the other Yakshas went insane, and this is why the Power Yaksha died. This is probably why the Electro Yaksha went evil. This is why Boseus had to kill himself as well. This is why the Hydro attacked Boseus in the first place. And yeah, so anyway, over 1,000 years, I've killed tens of thousands of demons. If you don't want to bother me, then keep your distance. Treat me as a tool. He doesn't want you to get close because he thinks that he will eventually fall into the darkness one day. Perhaps just like his dead friends. Even when it comes to myself, I will inevitably be swallowed by darkness. And that is the sad truth. That is so sad, because the way to develop this character is so sad, because like they put so much of our feelings into him. We want him. We see him save our traveler and whatnot through the story mode. He's just an amazing character. And then he's all alone. He's always alone. He feels like he's always alone, and he wants to be alone, and that's the sad thing. It's because he knows that inevitably he will be swallowed by darkness like all of his friends, and he will end up going mad like his friends, and he doesn't wish to kill anyone he gets close with. That's why he doesn't want to get close to anybody. He doesn't want to kill anybody. He doesn't want to, you know, be all happy and then everything just fall apart in front of him. And he doesn't want any more weaknesses, because a weakness is how he even ended up here in the first place, how he ended up with all this PTSD, how he ended up being the character that we know him as, the killer, the person that was literally, you know, he was literally like, they took his weakness and took advantage of him and made him kill innocent people and take their dreams. That is just sad. It's like, it's so sad to think about. He couldn't do anything about that. So of course he's scared to get close to anybody. So anyway, after all his friends die, he is the sole Yaksha left to defend Liyue. And I was laughing at this. Wow, very fun. Let me hug him, miHoYo. Oh my god. Anyway, after all his friends die, he is the sole Yaksha left to defend Liyue from the hatred and fifth periodically rising of Gunyan Stone Forest, which is actually a graveyard of old gods Rex Lapis has slain. Xiao now spends his days in, actual book quote, unbearable suffering. So that kind of sucks for him, really. Staying at Wakshu Inn's top floor and creeping people out by never saying a word and constantly staring at the Gunyan Stone Forest, awaiting the next resurgence in demonic power forever and ever. Until Child summons the Osio from the, yes, like I said, that demon that they summoned, that is literally what Xiao had to go against. He had to go against things like that and even stronger. Until Child summons Osio from the said Gunyan Stone Forest, and apparently the power Osio uses up in that one battle is enough to ensure it won't be rising up again for a long time. This, coupled with how even the undying Archons seem to whittle away after eons, is probably what gives Xiao the freedom to eventually join you in exploring the rest of Teyvat. Yeah, so that's the good thing about it. Their power being diminished and slowly diminishing while they're dead or unconscious, if you would say. It makes it like to where, like, when Osio came back alive, it didn't have, like, it had power, right? But that power, literally, as soon as he used that was it, because he's running out of so much power because of being dead for so long. So it gives Xiao the freedom, basically. And now, you know, that's why Xiao's with us all the time. That's why he's not always standing up there waiting for something to happen. Anyway, as for now, how other people see Xiao, Chongyun thinks he's a stuck-up jackass. Kaching straight up calls him a twink. He's not very popular Adeptus, that's for sure. And with how distant and cold he can be, he is still my husband. Devoted, spoken like a true simp. He is still my husband, devoted to the protection of Liyue, even at the cost of everything, because it's already cost him everything. He's literally lost everything. It's so sad, man. There's a lot more information, like the story about how Xiao is probably the one Adeptus who accidentally killed Chi-Chi, and not being able to bear with the guilt, he brought her back to life. Because as I said, like, you know, victims, they kind of are collateral when you're in the range of this man right here. When he has to defeat a demon, he's gonna probably kill you if you're in the range on accident. Unfortunately, Adeptal energy does not mingle with the human souls, and she went berserk, thus needing to be sealed up. This is likely why Xiao tells you to fuck up, to get away when you first meet him, because humans cannot handle a certain level of Adeptal energy. This is further supported by Chi-Chi's voice lines. Having special reference to Xiao despite not remembering him, she has horrible memory. Paid for, of course, she's literally a zombie. And from the voice lines such as Razor about Varka, we can assume that even if they say they don't remember someone they've actually met before, Xiao's in-game character profile, which talks about how he causes a shit ton of collateral damage, would explain how he accidentally kills her. That does explain a lot. So, and then tries to give her life again. And she comes back wrong. Even more guilt. This combined with how the House Dusky Ming in the story and returned a doll to a little Luo or Lo in Jin's village seems to show he's probably the type who is soft for young kids. Which would make sense because, you know, they're innocent. They have no taint. There's nothing wrong with them, literally. Some of them. Anyway, Xiao used to eat dreams and enjoys almond tofu because it tastes like dreams. In Japanese, yes, I know Liu is Chinese. Bear with me for a second. Mythology, the Baku is described as a dream eater, which is basically a tapir that eats nightmares. However, it can also eat a person's hopes, leaving them an empty husk. This is likely what Xiao had to do in the Archon War when he was basically possessed by the Archon or the god, and they possessed him by having his weakness dangled in front of him basically, and then they said, yeah, go kill them and eat their dreams, all their good dreams, all that. Yeah. So yeah, that was very, very sad. The myth of the Baku has origins in the Chinese mythology creature, and in fact, Baku was first recorded in the Sankai Ibutsu or Ibutsu, which is a Japanese illustration of the Chinese mythological epic called Shanhai Jing, Classic of Mountains and Seas. But actually, the Japanese author added in a lot of their own fan fiction to the translation. So maybe the Baku is originally Japanese, and this right here was retroactively turned into this, which is Mingmo, and then Dreammo, and attributed to this right here by translation of the Japanese translation. But also, oh my god, I hate classic literature. Let's just say he probably started off as a dream eater similar to Baku and leave it at that. So he probably did start off as a dream eater, right? He probably ate maybe evil dreams at first, right? And then, you know, got possessed by the Archon, or, you know, the Archon took him by showing him his weakness. And then there goes, you know, our boy. He's forced to eat good dreams. No matter what, bad, good, he's forced to eat the dreams, and he's also forced to kill people. So interestingly, while in English he just calls himself Adeptus Xiao, in Chinese he introduces himself as, which literally means 3 eyes, 5 manifestations, Adeptus. 3 eyes may be referring to his vision, which is called God's eye in Chinese, but 5 manifestations is odd. I thought, well, once you think about the 5 manifestations, right? There was 5 Yakshas. So maybe he was referring to himself as, you know, one of the 5, okay? So anyway, as I was saying, I thought it meant living Adeptus, but if you count Xiao, Ganyu, Madame Ping, Cloud Retainer, Mooncarver, and Moonshaper, there are 6. Rather, I believe the title could be a reference to the Tails figure. Maybe. So anyway, don't try to Google it in English. All you'll get is Wei Wuxian and MDZS. Emperor Wuxian, or Wuxian, was also known as Emperor Huguang. Interestingly, exact same symbols as Huguang's stone forest on the Liyue map, and was described to have, you guessed it, 3 eyes. Wow! Which could this mean? I have no clue, but Emperor Huguang was described to enjoy opera and even tricked the Jade Emperor into thinking he set a fire to the theater, which the Jade Emperor wanted to burn down for some sort of slight. He actually protected his people, which is interesting because the mask Xiao wears is Nuo mask, often associated with a Nuo opera. I guess there's a theater kid. From the leaked Chinese voice lines, we know Xiao is aware of who Venti is. He begins talking about Venti's songs and then stops himself. Venti, I see that is the name. That is his name. His songs? No, never mind. Since Xiao has an animal vision, Venti had purposefully given it to him. Perhaps when Xiao struggled to free himself from the enslavement of the previous Archon who forced him to kill, and then once he freed himself, he placed himself to Rex Lapis, or, you know, pledged himself to Rex Lapis, and proceeded to give up his freedom once again. So that kind of sucks. But about Morax confirms, the Venti's voice line about Morax confirms that they are good friends. So Xiao likely knows of Venti through osmosis / meeting him together with Rex Lapis. Even if Rex Lapis orders have to put him through hell, he will beat your ass if you insult him. Morax, concerning this name, how much do you know? He was the one who named Xiao, named me Xiao, and saved me from the pain beyond your imagination. If you disrespect him, even if it's you, I cannot forgive it. He's obviously extremely loyal to Rex Lapis or Zhongli, even if he's confused about what he's currently doing. A moment. I want to ask what Master Zhongli does day by day. Bird watching, flower admiring, appraising antiques. What is the grander meaning behind Master Zhongli's actions? This implies that while Zhongli is relaxing into a long-awaited vacation time as a human, the Yaksha who is sworn to him is still struggling with the notion of not needing to be Liu Wei's protector, which probably isn't surprising seeing that Xiao has lost everything to protect Liu Wei. Not entirely sure on this because it is a secondhand information about the Lantern Rite event in the CBT, but apparently Xiao hears voices because he can hear everyone's cries for help in Liu Wei, as well as the wishes they write into the lanterns, a common tradition to write your wish in the lanterns before releasing them to the sea during the actual IRL Lantern Festival 2, which is also why he tells you to call his name should you ever run into trouble. And the line, if you cannot bring yourself to kill, speak my name. Wow. So anyway, guys, it's really about it. All I want to discuss about him. These are speculations. This right here, all this, the speculative territory. What exactly is Xiao in further character details? These are all speculations. I will make sure to put this in the description. So if you skip through this, you will know all of this is speculation and, you know, questions and whatnot and piecing stuff together to see what makes sense and if it ever will make sense once we get his story officially. So anyway, guys, it's really bad for this video. I really want to say that Xiao is a very, very great developed character, not only move-wise, moveset, character design, everything, but everything he's been through. His voice actor, his story is so beautiful, even though it is a very tragic story, very tragic for the Yakshas in general, but definitely for him being like he's still suffering and he's still sane a little bit, but he's still like going crazy slowly. It's very sad to see that he went through all this, but it's very reassuring that Zhongli saved him. I'm happy that Zhongli saved him and gave him another chance, you know, gave him another privilege to live, you know, said go hunt demons for me, man, you know, and you know, just live as Xiao, you know, no more Altus, okay? So I feel like definitely it is so sad, his story of how he had to kill so many people, how he had to devour souls, how he literally was taken by surprise by another god holding on to his weakness. It was so sad, but I'm happy that he's literally had retribution. He still has a chance to redeem himself. Who knows? He may be like way better than he originally was. And the reason I say this is because how all of the Archons are slowly losing their power. There might not be a need for him to really protect Liu Wei that much against those evil, super strong demons, you know, or super strong gods and Archons and whatnot. So it's really, really good and reassuring that he's slowly, you know, getting comfortable. But it's also really sad, like I said. He has a really sad backstory, and he is definitely one of the best developed characters in this game, in my opinion. I'm sorry, he is the best developed character. Him and Zhongli are just amazing characters. But yeah, this is really about it. Shout out to this Reddit right here. As you can see, it was posted by this user right here. But anyway, shout out to them, and thank y'all so much for watching this, because some people are probably like, I'm not watching that. I feel I understand, because some players just play the game for numbers, like I said, or just for how the character looks. They don't care about the lore, they don't care about the story. But for those of you that care about the story, you are a true different kind of person, because to care about a fictional character's story is it's very, what is the word I'm looking for? It's very empathetic of you. It's like you are trying to understand. You feel the pain that this character felt, because at the end of the day, like I said, these games are for your fun, your entertainment, and also for your emotions, okay? Games are not just a 2D, 3D, or whatever you want to call it. It's not just something we play. It's also something that could teach us a valuable lesson in life. It's also something that could do way more than just entertain us, is what I'm saying. It's so advanced and so much to understand from it, because realize all this is coming from a real person's mind and perspective of things. So there's always things you can understand from everything, from all this. And if you are one that is interested in lore and everything about characters, you're definitely going to love Xiaos, and you definitely love this video. But there's even more to actually note about this character. So basically, that's really about it. All I want to say for this video. And Xiao has had a tragic but very decent life. I feel like definitely, hopefully he doesn't go insane like the other Yakshas. Hopefully he doesn't become evil like the Electro Yaksha. Hopefully he doesn't off himself like the Geo Yaksha. Or, you know, hopefully he doesn't try to kill people like the Hydro Yaksha. Or hopefully he doesn't go insane like the Pyro Yaksha. So let's hope that all this happens. And also, I want to see that other Yaksha. I want to actually see what he's doing. If it's the Electro Yaksha like I felt like it was going to be. If it's him, I want to see what he's doing. I want to see what is he plotting. And if anything, I feel like that's going to be Xiao's final act to go against that Yaksha. in my opinion. So anyway, I want to definitely see all this go down, but we will see really soon as we get more pieces of the story from Genshin Impact as we slowly unlock more of the map through each update. So anyway, guys, thank you for watching this. I hope you did enjoy Xiao's little backstory, who he is, where he came from, and whatnot. But anyway, thank you for watching this video. And if you did enjoy, make sure you smash that subscribe button down below. And you join the subscribers on the grind to 2,700. And also hit that like button and hit the notification bell to be notified of all my daily uploads. But without further ado, that's really about it for this video. I am very grateful to everybody who came out to watch this, as I said, because this character has a really special place in my heart. Ever since I started this game, I love this character because he was the first character I actually seen about the game, and that's why I really got into the game, is because I saw a picture of him and I was like, bro, he looks cool. And then I found out I was gonna have to wait like literal 6 months for him, and I was like but anyway, thank you for watching this, and I hope you did enjoy. And I will definitely be doing more things like this, talking about characters' lore, talking about who these characters are, and you know, why are they this character, why is their name this, where they come from, what have they been through, and all that of that sort. Definitely I feel like you need to know this before you get this character though. But anyway, thank you for watching this video, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.